Was alive with the hum of neon signs and the patter of rain. Maria's small apartment was a cozy but worn-out space, with peeling paint and a single window that rattled in the wind. She worked long hours cleaning houses, saving every penny for her 5-year-old son, Tommy. He loved zooming his toy cars across the cracked linoleum floor, but tonight he was limp in her arms, his cheeks burning red and his coughs sharp and painful. The doctor at the free clinic had been clear. Get this medicine tonight, or his fever could turn dangerous. Maria gripped the crumpled prescription, her heart heavy as she braved the storm, her sneakers soaking in icy puddles. The pharmacy's neon owl sign flickered, casting an eerie glow. Maria pushed open the door, and a bell jingled like a warning. The air inside smelled of antiseptic and old carpet. Shelves overflowed with bottles of pills, syrups, and bandages, their labels glowing under fluorescent lights. Behind the counter stood Mr. Grimm, the pharmacist, his thin mustache curling like a snake. His eyes were cold, and his voice sharper than the rain outside. 2 big men, his helpers, lounged nearby, their tattooed arms crossed. One had a scar across his cheek. The other wore a sneer like a badge. Maria stepped forward, her voice trembling but brave. Please, sir, my son needs medicine for his fever. Here's the doctor's note. She held out the paper, her hands shaking from cold and fear. Mr. Grimm glanced at it and smirked, his mustache twitching. This medicine costs $50. Maria fumbled with her worn purse, pulling out exactly $50, her last paycheck, scraped together from scrubbing floors. Here, she said, sliding the bills across the counter. Mr. Grimm shook his head slowly, his smirk growing. That's the daytime price. It's past midnight. You owe 20 more for our late-night service. Maria's heart sank like a stone in a river. But I don't have any more money. Tommy's so sick. Please, can't you help us? The big men chuckled, their laughs like gravel. Scarface leaned forward. Rules are rules, lady. Pay up or get out. Tears welled in Maria's eyes. Tommy coughed harder, his small hand clutching her coat. She felt helpless, trapped by the men's greed. The world seemed unfair and cruel. The door jingled again, cutting through the tension. A tall man stepped in, his long black hair dripping wet, his black leather jacket glistening. It was Keanu Reeves, the movie star. Keanu loved walking River City's streets at night, lost in thought under the stars. Tonight, he'd heard Maria's desperate plea from the sidewalk and felt a pull to help. His kind eyes scanned the room, taking in Maria's tears, Tommy's flushed face, and the menacing trio behind the counter. What's going on here? Keanu asked, his voice calm but firm, like a steady hand in a storm. Mr. Grimm snapped. None of your business, mister. She needs to pay extra. Keanu raised an eyebrow, his face unreadable. Extra for medicine? That doesn't sound right. Show me the price list. We don't have a price list, Mr. Grimm said, crossing his arms defiantly. It's our rule. Keanu's instincts kicked in. He'd heard whispers of scams in the city, of people cheated when they were most vulnerable. Quietly, he slipped his phone from his pocket and started recording, keeping it hidden in his hand. He'd played heroes in movies, but he'd also helped real people, buying meals for strangers, fixing flat tires. Now he saw a chance to make a difference. I'll pay for her medicine, Keanu said, stepping closer. How much total? Mr. Grimm's eyes narrowed, sensing trouble. $70 now, since you're poking your nose in. Keanu nodded, unfazed, and handed over the cash. Maria got the medicine, a small bottle of pink liquid, and gave it to Tommy right there. His coughing softened, and he snuggled into her arms. Thank you, Maria whispered, tears of relief mixing with the rain on her face. But Keanu wasn't done. He spoke loudly, ensuring his phone caught every word. I checked online earlier. This medicine costs only $40 at other pharmacies. Why are you charging so much? The big men shifted, their confidence cracking. Mind your own business, Scarface shouted, stepping forward with a clenched fist. Keanu stood tall, unshaken. You're cheating people who need help. You wait until late at night when they're desperate, and no other stores are open. That's not just wrong, it's a crime. He dialed the police. Hello, I'm at Night Owl Pharmacy on Main Street. They're overcharging for medicine. It's a scam, and I have proof. Mr. Grimm's face turned red as a fire truck. You can't do this, he yelled, slamming his fist on the counter. Yes, I can, Keanu said, his voice steady as steel. You're hustlers, preying on people like Maria who just want to save their kids. Sirens wailed, slicing through the rain. 2 police officers, Officer Bob and Officer Sue, burst through the door, their boots squeaking on the wet floor. Keanu played his recording, the voices clear. Mr. Grimm demanding extra money, the big men threatening Maria. Officer Bob searched behind the counter and found a locked metal box hidden under a stack of papers. He pried it open. Inside were stacks of crumpled bills, money stolen from countless customers. "You're under arrest for fraud," Officer Bob said, pulling out handcuffs. Officer Sue added, "We've had complaints about this pharmacy for months, but no proof until now." "Thank you, sir." The officers cuffed Mr. Grimm and his helpers. The big men grumbled, their tough act fading as they were led to the police car. Maria hugged Keanu tightly, her voice breaking. "You saved us. Tommy might have gotten worse without you." Keanu smiled softly, his eyes warm. "I'm just doing what's right. No one should suffer because of greedy people." Maria gave Tommy another dose of medicine, and he fell asleep in her arms, his breathing easier. Keanu called a taxi to take them home. "You shouldn't walk in this rain with a sick kid," he said, paying the driver with a nod. The taxi drove through the glistening streets to Maria's apartment. She tucked Tommy into his small bed, surrounded by his toy cars. She sang a lullaby, her voice soft as a breeze, and Tommy smiled in his sleep. Maria sat by the window, watching the rain slow, and thought of the stranger who changed everything. The next morning, the sun broke through gray clouds, painting the city gold. Tommy's fever was down, and he ate a pancake with a big grin, syrup on his chin. "Mom, who is that man?" he asked, his eyes wide. "A very good person," Maria said, ruffling his messy hair. The news exploded. Movie star Keanu Reeves stops pharmacy scam. Social media buzzed with posts calling Keanu a hero. Friends texted him, "You're amazing." Keanu laughed, sitting in his hotel room with a cup of coffee. "I'm just me," he said to himself. But trouble wasn't gone. Mr. Grimm had a brother, Bad Bill, who was even sneakier. Bill heard about the arrests in his dingy warehouse by the river, where crates were stacked high and rats scurried. "That Keanu ruined my brother's plan," he fumed to his three friends, tough guys in leather jackets with sneaky grins. Bill held a toy gun that looked real, waving it for effect. "Let's scare him good tonight." That evening, Keanu walked to the Moonlight Cafe, his favorite diner, where the burgers were juicy and the jukebox played old songs. The rain had stopped, leaving the air crisp and the pavement shiny. Streetlights cast long shadows. Suddenly, Bill and his gang leaped from a dark alley. "You got my brother arrested," Bill shouted, pointing the toy gun. Keanu stayed calm, hands in his pockets. He'd learned martial arts for his action movies and faced worse than this. "Your brother was hurting people," he said. "Put that down and walk away." But Bill's gang charged. One swung a fist, aiming for Keanu's face. Keanu dodged, moving like water, and kicked the toy gun from Bill's hand. It skidded across the pavement with a clatter. Another man grabbed for him, but Keanu spun, flipping him into a muddy puddle. Splash. The third man froze, eyes wide with fear. "Let's go," Bill yelled, and they sprinted toward the park, tripping over trash cans. Keanu picked up the toy gun and chuckled. "Kid stuff." He called the police. "Some guys tried to jump me near the park on Elm Street. They're running that way." Officers Bob and Sue, patrolling nearby, sped to the park. They found Bill's gang hiding behind prickly bushes, muddy and panting. "A toy gun." Sue laughed, holding it up. "You're in big trouble for threatening someone." They cuffed the gang and took them to jail, where they joined Mr. Grimm. The city buzzed again. Keanu stops another gang. Maria saw it on her tiny TV and smiled. She wrote a thank you card. "Dear Keanu, you saved us twice. Tommy's better because of you." Tommy drew a picture of Keanu with a red cape, fighting bad guys with a big smile. Maria mailed it to Keanu's movie set, hoping he'd see it. A week later, the mayor called Keanu. "We're giving you a medal for bravery," she said. Keanu agreed, though he didn't like the spotlight. At City Hall, red and blue flags waved, and a band played a cheerful tune. The crowd roared as the mayor pinned a shiny gold medal on Keanu's leather jacket. Keanu took the microphone, his voice steady. "Thank you, but the real heroes are people like Maria, fighting for their kids every day. Let's all help each other." The crowd clapped so hard the room shook. Maria and Tommy sat in the front row, beaming. Tommy shouted, "Yay, Keanu!" making everyone laugh. After, they ate chocolate cake and strawberry ice cream at a big party in the city square. Tommy got ice cream on his nose, and Keanu wiped it off with a napkin, grinning. Maria said, "How can we ever repay you?" Keanu shook his head. "Just keep being a great mom." That's enough. But Keanu wanted to do more. He started the kindness fund with money from his movies. This will help families afford medicine, he told a news reporter. People donated from everywhere. Kids gave their piggy bank coins and grown-ups sent big checks. The fund helped a girl with a sore ear, a boy with a bad cough, an old man with a sore leg, and a baby with a rash. Hundreds of families got medicine without worry. Night Owl Pharmacy got a new owner, Nice Nell, a cheerful woman with a warm smile. She cleaned the place until it sparkled and hung a sign, "Honest care always." Nell gave discounts to those in need and started free health checkups with a visiting doctor. Maria visited without fear, and Tommy got a cherry lollipop from Nell, which he ate with a giggle. Maria found a new job at a bakery, thanks to Nell's friend who needed a cake decorator. She frosted cupcakes and smiled at customers, her heart lighter. Tommy went back to school, healthy and full of energy. He told his class about Keanu. He's like a superhero, but real. His friends drew pictures of Keanu fighting bad guys with laser eyes and capes. The teacher hung Tommy's drawing, a colorful sketch of Keanu on a motorcycle, on the classroom wall. Keanu kept helping quietly. He rode his black motorcycle around River City, stopping to give sandwiches to homeless people or fix a kid's wobbly bike wheel. One day, he got Maria's card and Tommy's drawing. He smiled wide and hung the picture in his hotel room, next to his movie scripts and a photo of his dog. The story spread like wildfire. A local writer turned it into a book, The Nighttime Hero, with bright pictures of Keanu saving the day. Kids read it at bedtime, cheering for their hero. Some said, "I want to be like Keanu." Others said, "I'll help people too." But the adventure didn't end there. One day, Keanu heard about another scam at a different pharmacy across town. He went to check it out, posing as a customer. The new hustlers tried to overcharge him, but Keanu was ready. He recorded their tricks and called Officer Bob. The police shut that scam down too, and Keanu's legend grew. Meanwhile, Maria and Tommy visited the Kindness Fund office to volunteer. Maria helped send medicine to families, and Tommy stuffed envelopes with thank you notes. One note said, "Dear Keanu, you helped my grandma walk again." Maria teared up reading it. The city held a festival to celebrate the Kindness Fund's first year. There were balloons, music, and a big banner. "River City thanks Keanu." Kids ran around with toy motorcycles, pretending to be him. Keanu showed up, surprising everyone. He played games with the kids, tossing beanbags and laughing when they tackled him in a hug. Tommy, now 6, ran up. "Keanu, look." He showed a new drawing of Keanu fighting a giant robot hustler. Keanu laughed. "That's awesome, kid. Keep drawing." Years passed. Tommy grew tall, his toy cars now joined by books about science. He studied hard, inspired by that rainy night. At his high school graduation, he gave a speech about kindness, mentioning Keanu. The crowd clapped, and Maria wiped her eyes. Keanu was there, older now, with gray in his hair but the same warm smile. "Proud of you, kid," he said, shaking Tommy's hand. Tommy went to medical school and became a doctor. At his graduation, Keanu showed up again, a surprise guest. "I help sick kids because of you," Tommy said, hugging him. Maria worked full-time at the Kindness Fund, now a big organization helping thousands. Night Owl Pharmacy was a community hub, with kids' drawings on the walls and free health fairs. Nell became a friend, baking cookies for Tommy's birthday. Keanu still roamed River City on his motorcycle, helping wherever he could. He fixed a flat tire for a stranded dad, gave his jacket to a cold street musician, and bought ice cream for a group of kids. One night, he saw another mom struggling with groceries. He carried her bags and paid for her bus ride home. Back at Maria's apartment, now brighter with new paint, Tommy kept his toy cars and added a black motorcycle model, like Keanu's. At night, Maria told him stories of that stormy night when a hero changed their lives. "Always be kind," she said. "It's the strongest power." Tommy nodded, dreaming of saving others. River City glowed under the stars, its heart warmed by kindness. One man's courage had stopped the hustlers, started a fund, and sparked a wave of good that rippled forever. The moral? Be brave, be kind, and stand up to bullies. You can change the world, one act at a time.